Okay, so we're going to finish the discussion with Louise, and we were talking about phobias. I'm Dawn with Advanced Life Coaching, and welcome. So we were talking about how phobias may not even be your own fear. It could be a learned behavior. It could be a learned pattern. Someone, as a kid, you might see other people be afraid of something, so you're programmed to become afraid. Or that fear might have been genetically passed down, because emotions can get passed down. And this is really good because you don't have to know where your fear comes from, or your anger, or your resentment, or pain, or guilt, or any negative emotion to get rid of it. And that's why I like this work, because you never have to relive a situation to get rid of the emotions attached to that situation, because you may not logically know where it comes from. And it's easier to let go of something when you don't have to rehash it, or when you don't have to figure out where it came from. Who cares where it came from?
And the
You just want to get rid of it.
The re-traumatizing.
Yes. Like
of a event is sometimes triggers so many things that it takes forever and ever to get through it in a regular behavioral counseling session.
Right.
So this is so much faster, so much quicker.
Yeah, it is.
And you don't have that re-trauma.
No, and in fact, they have done modern scientific studies recently that find out that the more you have to rehash something, or relive it, or experience it through verbally talking about it, the more traumatic you actually make it. And pretty soon the unconscious mind starts changing the event, and it starts, or your logical mind starts changing it in ways that you can better deal with it. So if you can just get rid of the emotions that are attached to it, then you don't have to keep making new scenarios in the mind so that your mind can cope with something, which actually makes it more traumatic in the end. And an example kind of this, of how that works, is remember back in the day there was Jaws, that movie Jaws.
Yeah.
And after that, me as a little kid, I was afraid to jump in a pool. Like, I loved to swim. And I remember I'd walk around and check the pool and make sure there's no sharks in there. Although, as an adult, I know that's not possible. They can't even live in the chlorine. They're saltwater, big old fish. But as a little kid, I didn't know, because that fear was there. Because your unconscious mind doesn't have a concept of time or space, and it does not know what's real and what's not. So I told it, okay, this big shark could be real, and it's, and there was a lot of kids, I think, who felt that way, and a lot of people, that's why you jump at a scary movie. You're safe, you're sitting in your chair, but yet you still get scared. So it's kind of really interesting and fascinating to me how you can create things with your mind, and just as quickly you can decreate them. You can change it.
I think you see that like in accidents or situations where there's an accident and you have 7 people that saw it. Logically and accurately, nobody's going to see it exactly the same, because you're all seeing it with your own experience.
Right, your own perception.
You yourself might react to the colors in the situation. Right. Somebody else might react with the noises, and somebody else might react with the facial recognition.
Right.
So nobody actually sees it exactly the same.
No, and it's impossible to, because every person is so unique that they see the world through their own perception and their own experiences. And it's impossible for 2 people to even, comprehend things the same. So it's amazing that we all, found a way to live in this world together, when everyone...
All compromise.
Right? Because everyone's seeing everything a little differently. But that's beautiful because it just shows us how our base energy is something of compassion and love, and it actually wants us all to get to be one and get together and get along. So